Is Toshi, the meme coin, set to skyrocket? I think there's a very good chance that Toshi does make some pretty crazy movements during this bull cycle. Okay. And I'll tell you guys why. It's because when Bitcoin is in its bull cycle, which I very much think it is, altcoins are going to be pumping, okay? And altcoins are on the verge of a huge breakout. If you guys been watching my channel, you guys know what I'm talking about. I am talking about the total 3 charts, okay? Which is basically the altcoins market excluding Ethereum. That is on the verge of a breakout right now, okay? It's just a matter of time. That is, the resistance is at about 1.15 trillion. And total 3 right now is at about 1.12 trillion. Okay, last time I looked. And so very close to a move here. And we are at a very, very important day today, which is the FOMC meeting. Could this be the catalyst that pushes everything over the top? Okay, so I think there is a good chance that happens. Now, let's take a look into Toshi here, because I've talked about Toshi last time, and I talked about a very likely move that Toshi would be breaking to the upside. Okay, this is the weekly time frame for Toshi. Let's zoom in a little bit. I talked about on the daily time frame that there was a falling wedge pattern. Falling wedge patterns, if you guys pay attention to any patterns, pay attention to the falling wedge pattern, because it's probably the most common pattern you guys will see. It's one of my favorite patterns because it tells you after an extensive downtrend on that time frame that the price action has a higher chance of breaking to the upside. Okay, and in this case, it did. Price target was, let's just adjust it for this actual breakout point, would have been about 0.00087. Okay, Toshi has went way above that. Okay, went as far up as about 0.0012 almost. Okay, before getting a pullback here. Now, another reason why I like falling wedge patterns is because they're lower risk. I usually like to look for some type of signal before the breakout here, so I don't end up chasing these big green candles on the day of. Especially if you guys bought, if I was to buy in like here, like in the middle of the candle, that would be a lot riskier, and there's going to be a lot less profits to be made. Okay, so yeah, this is why I look for falling wedge patterns, and why you guys should too. Now, I think a lot of let's zoom out here to for Toshi. I talked about on the weekly time frame that there was a possible cup and handle pattern here. I'm gonna have to invalidate that because Toshi looks like it has already broken through that that would have been resistance for that cup and handle. Okay, so it's invalidated because Toshi was just so bullish. It basically just broke through without forming a cup and handle. Now, this is the monthly time frame, and what I am seeing here is a potential cup and handle scenario if Toshi comes all the way up here to retest its previous all-time highs at about 0.0023. Okay, because there are still rounded bottoms here. It's still a rounded bottom formation here, where I'm seeing higher lows, higher high, and the next move could be a higher low, right? And higher lows tend to form rounded bottoms, which tend to form cup and handles. Okay, so let's see if Toshi can actually come up here to retest 0.0023 two more times on this monthly time frame. Of course, there is a chance that Toshi breaks through again without even forming a cup and handle pattern. Uh, but a lot of this is going to depend on what happens with Bitcoin. Okay, I am long on Bitcoin. I am long on quite a bit of the altcoins here, so my opinion on this market is bullish. But of course, these are just my opinions, like the entirety of this video, and it's not financial advice. You gotta form your own opinions, right? So let's take a look into a smaller time frame here, because this is a this is a new move, and this is the hourly time frame, right? It has this pump here hasn't really it's happened so recently that even the hourly time frame data is valuable right now. Okay, and what I'm seeing is a potential falling wedge pattern that could be forming, right? It's important for Toshi to break out of this upper trend line if it doesn't want to form. If you guys are long and don't want to see Toshi form a falling wedge pattern, because that means more downside and more consolidation on even a smaller time frame, right? So if it doesn't break out of this upper trend line, it could form a falling wedge pattern, something more like this, before seeing what the next move is for Toshi. Let's take a look into some possible resistance for Toshi. Okay, so possible resistance, I'm looking at previous candle rejections. One here is going to be about 0.0012. Okay, that's a possible rejection there. And of course, the next one is going to be about 0.0023. I'm just basing it on the monthly time frame. Of course, you're going to find more granular data on smaller time frames if that's what you're trading on. So this is basically what I'm seeing for Toshi, the meme coin. Let's see what happens here. If you guys want to continue seeing any more of Toshi, make sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe, or any other coins in this market. I'll pick a request to do for you guys on a daily basis.